You know, there's something I've been wanting to talk to you about for a while now. Something that could make a real difference in how you feel every single day. Have you ever finished a meal and thought, why do I feel more tired now than before I ate? Or maybe you've noticed your joints ache a little more than usual, or your digestion just isn't what it used to be. Well, what if I told you that some of the vegetables you were eating, the very ones you've been told are good for you, might actually be working against your health? Now, I know that sounds surprising. We've always been told to eat our veggies, right? And that's still true. But here's the thing. As we get older, our bodies change. What worked for us at 40 might not be the best choice at 60 or 70. Some vegetables, especially if they're not prepared the right way, can cause inflammation, digestive issues, or even make certain health conditions worse. So today, I'm going to share with you 5 vegetables that might be doing more harm than good, and what you can eat instead to keep feeling your best. This isn't about fear or deprivation. It's about making simple, smart choices so you can enjoy your food and your health. Let's start with the first one. And this might be a real shocker. 1. Potatoes, especially fried or processed. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, but I love my potatoes. And I get it, they're comforting, filling, and a staple in so many meals. But here's the problem. Potatoes are high in starch, which turns into sugar quickly in your body. For many seniors, that can lead to blood sugar spikes, energy crashes, and even weight gain. And if they refried, like French fries or potato chips, they reloaded with unhealthy fats that can cause inflammation in your joints and arteries. But don't worry. You don't have to give up that hearty, satisfying texture. Try swapping potatoes for sweet potatoes or cauliflower. Sweet potatoes have more fiber and nutrients, and they don't spike your blood sugar as much. And cauliflower? You can mash it, roast it, even make a delicious cauliflower potato salad that's easier on your digestion. 2. Corn, especially processed corn products. Corn is another one that might surprise you. It's in everything. Corn chips, corn syrup, even healthy, whole-grain corn tortillas. But here's the thing. Corn is actually a grain, not a vegetable, and it's very hard for our bodies to digest as we age. It can cause bloating, gas, and even worsen joint pain for some people because it contains compounds that promote inflammation. Instead of corn, try zucchini or bell peppers for that satisfying crunch. If you love corn sweetness, roasted carrots or butternut squash can give you that same comforting flavor without the digestive trouble. Now, before we move on to the next vegetable, I want you to think about how you've been feeling after meals. Have you noticed any of these issues? Maybe a little more stiffness than usual, or your stomach just doesn't settle like it used to. These small signs are your body's way of telling you something isn't quite right. And that brings us to our third vegetable, one that's often praised as a superfood, but might not be so super for you. Now, I know we just talked about potatoes and corn, 2 foods that might have been staples in your kitchen for years. And if you're feeling a little surprised, that's completely okay. Change isn't always easy, especially when it comes to the foods we love. But here's the good news. Once you start making these small swaps, you might notice a real difference in how you feel. More energy, less bloating, maybe even fewer aches and pains. So let AWS keep going with the next vegetable on our list. One that S often called a superfood, but might not be so super for you. 3. Spinach, if you have kidney issues. Now, before you gasp and say, but spinach is supposed to be good for me, hear me out. Spinach is packed with vitamins and minerals, and for most people, it's a fantastic choice. But if you've been dealing with kidney stones or kidney problems, spinach could actually be making things worse. That's because it's high in oxalates, compounds that can contribute to kidney stones in some people. If you've ever had that sharp stabbing pain in your side after eating a big spinach salad, this might be why. But don't worry, you don't have to give up leafy greens altogether. Instead of spinach, try kale or Swiss chard. They're still loaded with nutrients but much lower in oxalates. And if you love the mild taste of spinach, butter lettuce is a great substitute, softer on digestion and just as tasty in salads. 4. Eggplant, if you have joint pain or inflammation. This one might be the biggest surprise yet. Eggplant is a favorite in so many dishes: ratatouille, eggplant parmesan, even grilled eggplant as a meat substitute. But here's the thing, eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, a group of vegetables that can trigger inflammation in some people, especially if you already deal with arthritis or joint pain. Nightshades contain a compound called solanine, which for sensitive individuals can make stiffness and discomfort worse. Now, not everyone reacts to them, but if you've noticed your knees or hands ache more after eating eggplant, tomatoes, or peppers, it might be worth cutting them out for a few weeks to see if you feel better. So, what can you eat instead? If you love the meaty texture of eggplant, try portobello mushrooms. They're just as hearty and work great in Italian dishes. Or, if you're craving something similar in flavor, zucchini or yellow squash can be roasted or grilled for a delicious alternative. Now, before we move on to the 5th and final vegetable, I want to pause for a second. How many of these have you been eating regularly? Maybe you're realizing that some of the foods you thought were healthy might not be the best fit for your body anymore. And that's okay. Our needs change as we age, and the key is to listen to what your body is telling you. And that brings us to the last vegetable on our list, one that is often overlooked but could be causing more harm than you think. You've been such a trooper sticking with me through these surprising truths about vegetables we've all trusted for years. By now, you might be looking at your plate a little differently, and that's a good thing. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to taking control of how you feel every single day. So let us talk about the 5th vegetable, one that flies under the radar but could be quietly working against you. 5. Canned vegetables, especially beans and peas. Now, I can hear some of you saying, but canned veggies are so convenient. And you're absolutely right. They're easy, they last forever, and for many seniors they've been pantry staples for decades. But here is the problem. Canned vegetables are often loaded with sodium and preservatives to keep them shelf-stable. Just one serving of canned green beans, for example, can have half your daily recommended sodium, and that's before you even add salt at the table. Too much sodium can lead to high blood pressure, bloating, and even put extra strain on your heart and kidneys. And let's not forget about the BPA lining in many cans, a chemical that's been linked to hormonal disruptions and other health concerns. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up convenience. Instead of canned, opt for frozen vegetables. They're just as easy to prepare, often more nutritious since they're frozen at peak freshness, and contain little to no added salt. If you love beans, try cooking a big batch of dried beans once a month and freezing them in portions. It is cheaper, healthier, and just as simple to use. Bringing it all together. Now let's take a step back. I didn't share all this to scare you or make mealtime stressful. Quite the opposite. I want you to feel empowered knowing that small tweaks to your diet can lead to big changes in how you feel. Maybe you'll swap potatoes for sweet potatoes, or try frozen peas instead of canned. Every little adjustment is a win, and remember, this isn't about perfection. If you love eggplant parmesan once in a while, enjoy it. The goal is awareness, not deprivation. Pay attention to how your body reacts after meals. Does a certain vegetable leave you feeling sluggish or achy? Your body is always talking to you. You just have to listen. Before I go, I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed that any of these vegetables bother you? Or have you already made some of these swaps and felt a difference? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience could help someone else. And if this video helped you, do me a favor and hit that like button. It lets me know I'm on the right track with the kind of content you want. Don't forget to subscribe too. We've got plenty more simple, practical tips coming your way to help you live your healthiest, happiest life after 60. Here's to making every bite count, and to feeling better than ever. Cheers to your health, my friend. See you in the next video.